Good evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. So it's a little bit late just because there's a lot of information to take a look at. So let's get right to it here. We have a lot of watches out, winter storm watches. So let me switch over to my computer screen here. And here is pretty much all the watches throughout the area. It looks like the four counties in the the very low Hudson Valley: Orange, Putnam, Rockland, Westchester. Let me get that out. And then in New Jersey, basically the northern half of the state, even going a little bit into Pennsylvania there. All of Long Island, looks like all of Connecticut, even going into some southern parts of Massachusetts as well. And yeah, there's a lot of spots where we have this winter storm watch out. And basically a winter storm watch versus warning means the watch is in place when these winter storm criteria, I guess you could say, are more than 24 hours out. So that's pretty much what we're in. We're not going to see anything like this tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a pretty nice day to start out with, at least. Let me see. I don't know why here on the satellite that keeps blinking. Let me see if I can just get one frame that has... There we go. So this very long strip of clouds, this is pretty much what gave us some rain earlier today. And it's going to be kind of a factor as well with this rain coming through. And you can see on the radar, very long strip there. Now if you notice here, this has kind of a northeasterly move, while this has a southeasterly component to it. So as this makes its way out, there is high pressure throughout where I'm circling with the mouse here. So that's pushing the rain that we had today out, but that's also going to be pulling in some of this rain coming from the Four Corners region, going into some of the Panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. So that's going to be coming up through our area, what looks like Saturday evening through Sunday, or early Sunday, pretty much before daybreak. Now the exact question is snow. Are we going to see snow? Are we going to have any kind of accumulations? What accumulations will we think of? Will it be ice? Well, it's still a little bit of a question mark right now. My confidence level has gone up just because we're within my confidence kind of range, which is 2 to 3 days out. So let me go through these very quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it right now, just because I'm still tweaking it throughout all of this. So with the GFS, let's start tonight. That's the rain making its way out. High pressure moves in. So starting your day tomorrow and going through the afternoon hours, it looks pretty nice. It's going to be a little bit breezy because these isobars are getting a little bit tight there. Then we're going to see. Now, this is the question mark. This is about 7 p.m. That's where we're starting to see some snow in the Hudson Valley, maybe a little bit of rain or mixing along the South Shore. Very southern part of New Jersey's all rain. Northern part of New Jersey's snow. Now, this is the freezing line. That is what's the big question mark. Will it be a bit more south? Will it be a bit more north? Generally, these are kind of in the same areas. If you watched my live stream on Wednesday, I moved the mouse to the 70-40 benchmark, which is right about there, and I clicked. Let me see if I get that's 40 right about there, and there's 70. Yeah, close enough, right about there. So if the low passes pretty much right over that spot, that's where we would see a bit more cold air coming in. But you also notice not all that moisture is making its way in as well. So now on the Euro, same story. Saturday looks to be pretty nice until about this time is about 7 p.m. Looks like it's starting already with some snow in the Hudson Valley. Then that kind of splits this 540 line, which you can kind of think of as the freezing line. Splits Jersey. And then this has more snow for Long Island, not really any kind of mixing or rain along the South Shore. This is quite a bit of heavy rain in spots, or it could turn into quite a bit of heavy snow by about 1 a.m. Then going through, this is about 7 a.m. It's still with us. We're still seeing some snow. And then it's out by about 1 p.m. And then on the GFS, the end time Well, still a little bit of pink mixing there. So this is about 7 a.m. as well. And that's 1 p.m. So that's pretty much out. High pressure moves in, but if you also notice, these isobars are pretty close together again, so that still means it's going to be windy. However, we have what's called warm air advection coming in. So that's going to be bringing in some more mild weather. So we could be in the mid to maybe upper 40s. Some areas could touch near 50 degrees on Sunday, which is quite interesting. And that was the euro. Now let's go to the Canadian. So going into tomorrow. So through the morning, afternoon, dry, just cold, and a little breezy. Now here's another interesting part. That freezing line. Now if you notice, there's the 540 line. However, north of the 540 line, there is some rain it's showing. So that's kind of where a good example of the 540 line is not exactly a freezing line. That's kind of where we would think the freezing line would be, but that's not exactly the freezing point line. And now this still has quite a bit of moisture there. And the center, close, 3870. It's not 4070, which would be about there. So if that was more north, that cold air would still be in place, and maybe some of this yellow would touch into some areas in New Jersey, which would be a lot of snow. Then this also is a little bit faster, it looks like. It's making its way out pretty much by 7 a.m. And then by 1 p.m., all gone, high pressure in place, nice clearing for the afternoon. The German icon model. So this has it starting somewhere between, I'd say, 4 or 5 o'clock and let's say 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. That's where it really looks like it's going to be starting. And then that's a lot of heavy snow in that dark blue there. So this one has that moisture making its way a bit more inland. So that cold air is still in place. And this is also another good example. The 540 line's here, but there's rain north of the 540 line. So again, that's just showing the example where the 540 line is not exactly the freezing line. And then this makes its way out. This is right about here, 7 a.m. So this is even faster. This is pretty much all done by 7 a.m., not just finishing up around 7 a.m. And then going into the afternoon, those tight isobars mean it's going to be windy, but we are going to be seeing a little bit more mild weather going in for the afternoon, at least on Sunday. And then here, this is the RPM model, or what you would see on television as the Futurecast. So Saturday, here's the high, moving through. And then there comes that next storm system, right? Ooh, stop. Go back a little bit. So this is having it start really about 4 o'clock. Then we're seeing, now this is about 6:30. And yeah, it's really starting pretty much throughout most areas in Jersey as snow. There's still some rain holding on along the southern Jersey shore going down into Cape May. And all Pennsylvania, that's definitely all snow. And interesting with Pennsylvania, once you go a little bit more out that way, it's all going to be snow. And it looked like almost all of these, Pennsylvania, all snow, a little bit of mixing, but just not as heavy precipitation. The Euro, yeah, I'd say maybe southern Pennsylvania was a little bit more, and that's, again, the question mark of exactly where the freezing line is, because we're not really following the 540 line exactly. But yeah, it looks like more just all snow for Pennsylvania. And then here, the RPM. So those dark blues are pretty heavy snow, especially it looks like now over Long Island going to Connecticut. And this is still all before sunrise. So this is the fastest of all of them, right here. That's the same time frame, which is about 7 a.m., and that's just finishing up with some snow showers, looks like around the Boston area. But this is the fastest of all of them. And look at these winds. the way you read these winds, each of these long lines is 10 knots and a short line is 5 knots. So the winds coming out here are 30 knots, which it's not exactly, but you kind of think of as 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, 50, 1, 2, 3, 45, that is. Yeah, so there's a lot of wind coming out behind this. And now, let's talk about some of the accumulations. So with the RPM, Saturday's nothing. Yep, that's tomorrow. And there comes the storm. So that light blue to the dark blue is between right there, about that 4-inch going between, say, 3 and 4 or 5 inches. Now let's go back to some of these here. The GFS. We'll switch this to snowfall. Let's see, by the time that's all finished, right around, say, 3-4 inches at the most, it looks like there. Then on the Canadian, switch this to total snowfall. Again, 3-4 inches, maybe a little bit more going into those little purples. Getting up 5, maybe 6 inches in some spots. Connecticut, the Delaware area, going, yeah, or not Delaware, sorry. Right around Boston even, maybe, yeah, getting just right at that edge of the pink line. Right about there. That's 3.5 to 4 inches. That was the Canadian. Let's go to the Icon model. Switch this to total snowfall. And yeah, about that same amount, say 3, maybe 4 inches at most. Because even though those numbers say 3, there's a little shade of that pink right around there, which is getting up around that 4-inch mark. But yeah, some of these are showing some higher snowfall totals than others, but overall they've come down and have come into a bit more agreement between each other. Alright, now I'm going to switch back to my main camera. So overall, it does look like we're going to get a snow event. It's not a major accumulating snow event, and it's not really going to be affecting a lot of people just because it's late Saturday going into early Sunday. Unless you're out partying or you're doing anything late Saturday night going into Sunday. That's the only time you're really going to be having some issues. So I'm going to scooch over to the side here. I'm going to put up my snow map right over my shoulder here. I'm just looking at it along with you guys. So I have this kind of circled dark blue area of, say, 3 to 6 inches, just because some models are still just putting out that little bit higher snowfall total. But once you get a bit more north of, say, Orange County, the precipitation really goes down, so 1 to 3. Right around New York City area, going the middle part of New Jersey, 1 to 3 as well. Northern part of Long Island, 1 to 3. Then going to the south shore of Long Island, and then following along to the Jersey Shore. A slushy, rainy mix to maybe a coating or 1 inch of snow. And that's pretty much what I'm thinking for this. So that's the snowfall total map. Now I'm going to take that down. And now I'm going to put up my overall weekend outlook forecast. Let me pull that up here as well. So the one thing you might notice is on Sunday, I think that's 49. Yep, 49. Quite a big difference to go from 38 as a high on Saturday to 49 as a high on Sunday. So this is where we're really seeing this roller coaster or whiplash of temperatures going from today was in the 50s to the 30s, tomorrow to the 40s on Sunday. The overnight lows, though, are going to be right around the freezing point, and that's going to be the big question mark. Are we going to be seeing maybe a bit more mixing, maybe a bit more snow, maybe a bit more rain? It all depends on exactly where that temperature really lies in. But yeah, between late in the evening Saturday and into early Sunday, but again, I'm thinking maybe around daybreak, right around, say, 7 a.m. That's really going to be the end of it. Then we have some nice clearing later on in the day. So now let me take that down. And overall, let me wrap this up. So, we got a little bit of a roller coaster of temperatures again going into the weekend. And yeah, it looks like we got some snow. It was a bit of a big question mark at the beginning of the week, but it's a bit more certain now. My confidence level is much higher. It's say right around 80-85% about the snow. The totals, yeah, I'm going to keep fine-tuning that. So if you hit that subscribe button below and the little bell icon right next to it, you get all my weather updates. So as I continue to update you guys going into the weekend about the snow, I'll be talking to you about what tweaks I had with the snowfall totals or anything else. Also, I have some neat car videos coming up. I'm going to try and get some kind of like a car meet together with a couple of friends that have some neat kind of cool cars. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. Again, hit subscribe so you get all those weather updates going into this weekend and for the rest of the winter and going maybe the rest of the year. So we got 1 year down, maybe another year to go. Let's see. All right, have a good evening, everybody. Check back often. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Stay safe throughout any of the snow that you may encounter late tomorrow going into Sunday.